Hi there. I want to talk to you today a little bit about the site security that your WordPress website is using in order to mitigate any possible issues that might exist with hackers and people who are doing you ill. Did you know that in 2012, 117,000 WordPress installations were hacked? And that today, fully 73.2% of all the WordPress installations that are out there are vulnerable to being hacked. And in this last week, this has been particularly true. So I wanted to spend a little bit of time today talking about what the security risk is for our website and how you can mitigate it. Hi, I'm Tisha Oman with Paradux Media Group, and welcome to Learn WordPress as easily as a duck takes to water. Thanks so much for making the time to watch this video. I know they come out every week, and I know sometimes you get busy and there are other things to do, and this is probably the last thing that you want to take a few minutes of your day to spend and really truly understand. But this is a critical issue, and when we talk about site security, in my mind there's nothing more important about your website and the reputation of your business than keeping your website secure. So, first of all, I want to thank those of you who host your websites with us. Almost everything that I'm going to be talking about today is something that you don't have to worry about because we take care of it for you. But if you don't host your WordPress website with us and you're self-hosting, these are some really valuable things you simply have to do in order to keep your WordPress safe and keep the reputation of your business sound and secure. So, what is a WordPress website? You know what it is, you've got it, and you're out there working on it every day. It's actually just your website. But a WordPress update specifically is what we're going to be talking about today. A WordPress update happens almost every day, and it happens for a variety of reasons. And you know when you go to your website that sometimes it'll tell you that the core is out of date, or the theme is out of date, or a plugin is out of date. And the reason that those items go out of date is because they've either enhanced the functionality that existed for the theme, plugin, or the core, or they've developed and found a security hole that existed in their previous program that's installed on your website, and they have found a way to plug that hole. So that's really, really critically important. So sometimes the updates are about actually just giving you additional features and functions, but a lot of the time, a huge amount of the time, the update is about fixing a security hole that exists in your WordPress website. So let me give you a little bit of an example of what this looks like. So, in fact, I'm going to switch out here to my computer, I think. Yes, there we are. Okay, so I'm actually looking now at a WordPress website that is out of date. And you can tell that it's out of date because of a few things. First of all, this message right here tells me that WordPress 3.8.2 is available. Please update now. This means that the core itself is out of date and it needs to be updated. And the core is actually the main engine in your WordPress website. It actually is WordPress is now out of date. And this 3.8.2 was a security update for your website. So it's really critically important that it be installed and that it be installed fast in order to plug the holes that are out there. Now, you probably got a note from me over the last week talking about the Heartbleed bug that was discovered, and didn't get into a whole lot of details about what it is and all of that, other than to say contact your host and make sure that your host has dealt with any vulnerabilities that are out there. And the reason that it actually was a really big deal, and still is if you haven't fixed it, is that the Heartbleed bug gave malicious hackers the ability to go to almost any website in the world, which is a little scary, that uses an OpenSSL protocol. So that's a whole lot. That's what you need to know about that. Go to almost any website in the world and to be able to extract what the owner of the site thought was secret information and to be able to use it however they want. So they were able to download usernames and they were able to download passwords and who knows what all else they were able to get their hands on. But They also didn't leave a single solitary trace. So it was a completely invisible stealing job. Now, there's not a whole lot you can do on your WordPress installation to actually mitigate the heartbleed bug. I'm sorry, I can't say that. But you can demand that your host deal with it. And particularly if you use an SSL protocol, that's the security element for your website, the HTTPS:// with the little green padlock that goes in up at the top. If you're using that protocol, there are a few additional steps you personally have to take in order to secure your WordPress website. But it's mostly something that your host has to deal with. To make matters more complicated, yesterday, WordPress, who owns the company called Automatic, wrote a plugin that we use on a whole lot of websites. It's called Jetpack. And there's about a 50-50 chance that Jetpack is actually installed on your WordPress installation right now today. And the reason that that's important to know is that they announced a vicious security hole in the Jetpack plugin as of yesterday, which was Thursday. And what that meant is that they pushed out an update to Jetpack immediately that plugs the hole. But if you're running an old version of Jetpack, you stand the very real possibility of having people you don't know or like being able to post content on your website. And that's just not good. And the solution, honestly, is just updating your website. So that's what WordPress updates help to mitigate, and that's why malware is such a big deal. So let me go through real quick here how you actually update your WordPress website. So again, when you come to the website, you see here in this case, this particular website is telling us that the core is out of date. You can see I'm getting an error message from one of my plugins that might or might not have to do with the fact that it's actually out of date. And if I were to scroll over here to my updates, you'd see the number 12 next to my updates. That means that there are 11 plugins on this website that are currently out of date. And that's a really significant issue. Now, to be fair, this particular installation I'm looking at is not any of your websites. This is a site that's in development in a very, very, very private and very secure place. So it's not, for this website, such a significant issue. But if your website has similar notices and warnings, this is a problem on your website, okay? So what you do when you see these things happen, and again, it's going to happen almost every day, for sure once a week, something is going to go out of date up here in this updates section of your website. So what you do, if you're a self-hosted client, I'm going to step by step all the way through here. If you're a hosted client, in other words, if your website is hosted at Paradux Media Group, don't forget, we've got you covered. We take care of these updates on a weekly basis, and if there's a site security issue like the Jetpack plugin was, we get in and we take care of it right away. So all of our websites that are on the Paradux Media Group servers have been updated and they're good to go. So don't sweat that. But if you're a self-hosted client, this is exactly what you need to be doing here. So first things first, we probably have installed for you one of two backup programs on your website. So what you'll do is just scroll down to settings, and then you're going to choose either WP Complete Backup or Simple Backup. You'll have one or the other of them on your website. I think most of you have WP Complete Backup, so I'm just going to go ahead and go there. If you have never been here before, you have to give it, sorry about that, your name, and you have to give it your email address, and then you just click Get My Free Registration Key, which it will give you. It's going to tell me that I can't use that. Sorry about that. Let's just do this one more time. First name, last name, and let's use an email address that we don't have associated with goodies. There we go. And it'll come back to this page, just like that. And the reason it gave me an error is just because I've done this a lot, and I happen to have my email address associated with quite a few number of websites. When you come here to this WP Complete Backup page, you're going to scroll down the page until you find this Run Backup Now button. And you're just going to go ahead and click it, and then you're going to wait, and when it comes back to you, it'll give you a little note here that says your backup was successful, and it should tell you how many bytes your backup was. Boom, you're good to go. If instead you're using the simple backup of the backup systems, you're going to come in here. It's going to ask you to configure, if you haven't already. What you want is a file backup, and you want a zip backup. That's more normal, and you also want your database backed up. Then you just click save and come over here now to the backup manager, and once it gets there, you're going to click the great big blue button up here that says Create WordPress Backup. And all you're going to do is click it. It's going to go out and it's going to make a full copy of your files and a full copy of your database. Of the two, I have to be honest that I like Simple Backup better these days. And there is another video on this website that will show you how to convert your website from using WP Complete Backup to Simple Backup. Simple Backup seems to be more reliable than it has been in the past. Than WP Backup has been in the past. But here nor there, make a backup of your website. That's the bottom line. And once you've done that, then come back up here to your dashboard and come to Updates. And so I'm just going to come over here and click on my Updates, and I'm going to wait for it to load, and it doesn't help that I'm running a backup in the background. In fact, it doesn't help at all. There it goes. And you can see here now I have an updated version of WordPress is available, along with a bunch of plugins that are currently out of date. So when I attack this big mess that I've got going on here, I always start by updating my WordPress core first. And that's what this one is up top. So I'm just going to go ahead and click the blue Update Now button. And as I do that, it's going to go out, it's going to download the latest and greatest files from WordPress, it's going to install them on the server, and it's going to bring it back to me here in just a moment and tell me that it has done everything that it needed to do and welcome me to the new version of WordPress. So now my core is updated, so now I'm all safe and secure on that count. And then I'm going to come back over here to dashboard and go back to updates, because I still have 11 that are out of date. And again, I'm still running a backup in the background, so you shouldn't be doing this like I am. You should wait for your backup to finish running before you actually finish doing these updates. And then I've got plugins now that need to be updated. And 11 is a fair number, and particularly for a self-hosted client, I would recommend not going for 11 all at once. I would go for 3 to 5 at a whack, just so that you don't error out your website and you don't really kill your server. I'm going to actually just go ahead and go with 3 for right now. So I'm going to do the first 3. There's no rhyme or reason here. Admin menu, Akismet, and broken link checker on this website. And I'm going to go ahead and click Update. It's going to do its thing. It's going to go out, it's going to grab the latest and greatest files, it's going to install them, and it's going to reactivate all of those plugins. And here it comes back any second now. There it goes. Tells me that it was successful. It actually did 4, because apparently I can't count. But you knew that about me, right? You knew I can't count. So 4 plugins have been updated. There are more to do, so I'm just going to come back here to return to WordPress updates. And as I come back to this page, any second now. I now have a few more to do. I'm going to do another 4. That one seemed to work out pretty well, except that I have 3 versions here of Slide Deck that need to be updated. And it's important that you update those in the right order. So I'm going to skip those right now, and I'm going to do the top 2 and the bottom 2. So I'm just leaving Slide Deck alone because I'm not doing it all at once. I'm going to go ahead and update those plugins. And what happens on the Slide Deck plugins while this is doing its thing is that Slide Deck actually is 3 sets of plugins, and I hold the developer's license to it. So when you look at what needs to be done in terms of Slide Deck updates, all 3 of them are out of date. The personal version is the free version that you can download without spending any money. That's this one right here. The professional add-on gives you a little more functionality. You have to pay for that version of the slide deck. And the developer add-on is, like I said, the license that I hold that I've passed to you if you're using slide deck on your website. And it has even more functionality involved. That's how we do a lot of the super special sliders that we do on your website, is with this developer's add-on package. But the story on it is, if slide deck 2 goes out of date and you try to update the developer's package before you update the personal package, it's not going to go well and things are going to error out and crash. So I like to run slide deck all at one go. I go ahead and click in this case, select all, because I only have 3 left. I'm going to go ahead and click Update Plugins. It's going to do the same thing it's been doing. It's going to go out and get the latest and greatest files, and it's going to come back, and it's going to tell me that it was successful any second now. And when it does that, I will now have mitigated any security risks that might have existed on this website because stuff was out of date. So to the extent that the known world now knows what security risks and exist within specific plugins or specific themes or within the core, I've now eliminated that as a possibility. So those don't exist anymore on this website. So let me go ahead and bring you back here just to me 1 minute. Okay, and here we are back again, yay. So that's all that you have to do to really take care of updating your website and getting secure on your WordPress updates. And again, even just taking those few little steps, I mean, this video has been running for a total of about 16.5 minutes right now, wherein a lot of it was just me talking, not actually updating the website. I was able to make my website more secure than 72% of all of the other websites that are out there in the world that are running on WordPress. And it's so easy. It's neglectful not to be doing your updates and to really being diligent and vigilant about making sure you have the latest and greatest versions of your software involved. Now, if you do find that you've got that kind of a pink error message up at the top like we were looking at on that other website, and you've done all your updates and it's still there, then something's gone a little awry, something's not working properly, and just give me a holler. We'd be happy to have one of our web development experts take a look at it and see what they can do to fix it for you. It usually doesn't take a huge amount of time, which usually translates to not a huge amount of money. But if you do find that that's the problem, do go ahead and let us know. Also, that's why you took a backup of the website. So, you know, as you can imagine, when we're going out there and we're downloading hundreds in some cases even thousands of files for a WordPress update for the core or for a plugin or for a theme, sometimes things go a little wonky and go a little awry, and it doesn't all happen in exactly the order that it needed to happen in. When that happens, that's why things break. And as long as you have a good solid copy of your website, a good backup of it, I can always restore that website for you to where it was pre-update, and then go through nice and slow and figure out where the problem is, and then very diligently and very carefully make sure that we apply all of the updates, but in the order and in a method slow enough that the website doesn't crash. So thanks so much for spending the time with me today. You know, we covered today what WordPress updates are. We've covered why they're important, and more importantly, we've covered how you can manage the WordPress updates on your own computer going forward for your own website. As always, if you have questions, please let me know. If you have specific topics that you would like to have addressed, please let me know. By all means, if you have Jetpack running on your computer, on your website right now, you need to get in today and make this update. This is a really big hole that they found that's completely within your ability to fix. So get out there and fix it. And in the meantime, hang on till next week when I'll meet you back right here, and we will cover another aspect of learning WordPress and getting you as comfortable with WordPress as a duck is when it takes to water. Have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you again real soon. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.